All right, we'll adjust the camera here just slightly. Make sure we're all good to go. Oh, yeah. And welcome, football fans, to Tim Reynolds Show's 2025 NFL Week 3 review right here on one of the most electrifying sports entertainment channels on YouTube today. This is Tim Reynolds Show. Now, let's go. And guys, we had a lot of badass football this past weekend and a couple of some surprise upsets as well. Man, I can't even speak straight. What is up, guys? Hope you're doing well. And man, we see a couple of teams now have made it to 3-0 after week 3, and we're starting to see some of the pretenders and contenders as we approach week 4 of the 2025 NFL season. Welcome, guys, to the show, and we're going to kick things off, of course, with the Thursday night football matchup where we would see the Miami Dolphins traveling to take on the Buffalo Bills in an AFC East divisional matchup. And guys, Miami came into this one 0-2 on the season, but they put up a big fight in this one. But we would see the Buffalo Bills pull away with a 31-21 victory after scoring 10 points in the fourth quarter to help them get the win. And guys, looking over at the stats here in this matchup, we've seen the Buffalo Bills were able to put up a big stat line here, including Josh Allen going 22 for 28 for 213 yards passing for 3 touchdowns, a QBR that was terrific, especially when we've seen what he did with his legs with 4 carries for 25 yards as well on the ground. We also seen James Cook have a very good day, especially for fantasy football managers, as we see James Cook had 19 carries for 108 yards and a touchdown in this game. We would also see Cook get involved in the passing game with 3 catches for 10 yards as well. We see the Dalton Kincaid, the tight end for the Buffalo Bills, finished with 5 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown, and Khalil Shakir had 4 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown in this game as well. So we've seen a very good back and forth game in this one. Buffalo was able to pull away at the end. And looking at Miami's stat line, we see Tua Tagovailoa went 22 for 34 in this game with 146 passing yards and 2 touchdown passes, but an interception as well. And we see Devon Achane with 12 carries for 62 yards. He averaged just over 5 yards per carry in this game. And Miami ran the ball for 130 total yards in this game, but unfortunately, they weren't able to pull out the victory in this one, even though Tyreek Hill had 5 catches for 49 yards and a touchdown. And we also seen Jalen Waddle have 5 catches for 39 yards and a touchdown as well in this game. But Miami, unfortunately, ends up coming up short in this one. They fall to 0-3 on the season and now move to next week, where they will be taking on the New York Jets in a matchup of winless teams on Monday Night Football. So we'll have to see what this means for both of those teams in that division. But hey, Buffalo moved to 3-0 on the season. And hey, looking at my power rankings that I'm going to try to get out tomorrow, guys, I really do think Buffalo is probably going to be there right near the top 3. They're looking like an all-around great, complete team right now, the Buffalo Bills are. And Josh Allen is doing his thing. But man, James Cook is having himself a nice start to the season as well for this Buffalo team. They had some injuries on defense, which is why I think this game was a little bit closer than maybe people thought. But man, as long as they get some guys healthy back on that defense for Buffalo, this is going to be a dangerous team going forward. And hey, good luck with Miami the rest of the year. Hopefully they're able to pull out some victories, but this could be a sort of rebuild year for them, with a lot of people and a lot of sports analysts saying that this could be the last year for the Miami Dolphins head coach. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens for them. But I want to wish them best of luck as well, because hey, tough loss there for the Miami Dolphin faithful. And then guys, up next, we got to talk about my Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the New York Jets. And that's right, it's a throwback Bucco Bruce game, baby. That's right. Oh man, the colors, the jerseys, it was amazing there. This is the 50th anniversary season of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's going on, chat? And the Bucs, and this one was a thriller, as we would see this one come down to the end after the Jets were able to score 20 21 points in the fourth quarter. One of those touchdowns coming off of a blocked field goal near the end that finally gave the Jets the lead with just under 2 minutes remaining. But then that's when we would see Baker Mayfield put the team on his back, and it was shake and bake, and we seen Emeka Egbuka make a clutch catch once again on this drive where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to get in field goal range and kick the game-winning field goal to win this matchup and improve to 3-0 against the New York Jets in their home opener at Raymond James Stadium. And the cannons were firing after the Bucs pulled off a 29-27 victory, and this now makes 3 last-minute drives in a row for the Bucs to get the victory here to start out the 2025 NFL season. And man, this Bucs team looks dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, I gotta tip my hat to the New York Jets, man. They came out fighting in that fourth quarter and didn't give up to the very end. I think the Bucs are definitely looking like a complete team as long as they can get some of these injuries from these players back later this year. They've already going to miss a couple of key players for the rest of the year with injuries that they suffered last week. But hey, a good start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as we look at their stat line here in this one. Baker Mayfield went 19 for 29 in this one for 233 passing yards, 1 touchdown pass. We also seen he was able to carry the ball for 4 times for 44 yards, and those were 4 key carries throughout this game for Baker Mayfield, and he's done that now 3 straight weeks, scrambling the ball right when he needs to, making big plays with his legs when he needs to for this offense. We also seen Bucky Irving had 25 carries for 66 yards in this game, so not too bad for him. Rashad White only got involved a little bit, but we did have 122 total rushing yards in this game, so not too bad, especially in the second half for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were able to get the run game going a little bit better, and that offensive line stopped making mistakes because, wow, we had so many offensive line penalties in that first half because of the new revamped offensive line for the Buccaneers with all the injuries. It was crazy. We did see Emeka Egbuka have 6 catches for 85 yards in this game, and Sterling Shepard with 4 catches for 80 yards as well. These catches came up at clutch times for Sterling Shepard in this one, so a great game from him. And Mike Evans finished with 4 catches for 33 yards and a touchdown, his first touchdown grab of the season. But ladies and gentlemen, bad news coming out of this game. Bucky Irvin also had 4 catches for 33 yards as well to go along with his 66 yards rushing. But guys, Mike Evans, unfortunately in this game, ended up injuring his hamstring, and that's now 7 straight seasons that Mike Evans and unfortunately has suffered hamstring injuries, and now in this one it's reported that he will lose 2 to 4 weeks with this injury as he tries to recover and get back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So looks like Buccaneer fans are going to once again be on Mike Evans receiving yards watch for the rest of the year, but they are hopeful because it's a low grade strain of the hamstring that Mike Evans may only need to miss a few weeks, and he should be able to come back at the 3rd or 4th week. But this was an excellent win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have shown grit throughout the first 3 matchups here in this NFL season. And hey, hats off to the Jets, man. Tyrod Taylor had a pretty good day, throwing for 197 yards and 2 touchdown passes. He did throw an interception that ended up being a pick 6. Talk about a great play from the Buccaneers defense that helped them get the win in this one. Tyrod Taylor, though, was the leading rusher in this game for the New York Jets with 8 carries for 48 yards in this one. Breece Hall, not a very good day for him on the ground, 9 carries for 21 yards in this one. We did see Garrett Wilson have 10 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. He was the leading receiver by far when you look at the other players that were able to get involved in this one. So the Jets, hey, they fought for it, man, but the Bucs were able to pull this one out. So the Jets now next week will take on the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football. All right, guys, hey, hope you guys are doing well. Man, chat's blowing up here a little bit. Let's check on everybody and see how we doing. All right, let's get a drink here, too. Let's check on everybody and see how... All right, there we go. Volume's working good. That's good. Giovanni, what's up, man? Yeah, sad Mike Evans is doubtful for the Eagles. Yeah, but the best outcome we could have hoped for with that hamstring injury of his, hopefully he'll only miss 2 or 3 games is kind of the hopefulness. You keep your fingers crossed of it all. But hey, what's going on, Joe? Hope you guys are doing good. Seymour, hey, fly Eagles fly. Dude, it's going to be an awesome game this weekend, man. Good luck to you Eagles fans. Dude, CJ Gardner-Johnson, if he goes back to Philly, oh my gosh, dude, that'd be crazy for Eagles fans, man. The new Jets look awesome. What's up, Adam Vaughn? How you doing, man? Try 10. Welcome to the chat, man. Mark, what's going on, man? So, boom. That. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Hope you guys are doing well. All right, looks like we're caught up with the comments there, so we'll get back to the action. And yeah, man, like I said, guys, the Buccaneers pull this one out 29-27, and I really do think the Buccaneers have shown a lot of grit throughout the first 3 weeks of the season, and now coming up next, they got one of the best matchups of Week 4 in the 2025 NFL season, where we'll see the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles taking on the undefeated Tampa Bay Buccaneers down there in Ray J in Tampa Bay. And I cannot wait to see this matchup, man. 2 top contenders in the NFC will go head-to-head in this matchup with the Bucs facing the Eagles. It's going to be freaking awesome, guys. So, hey, we just mentioned those Eagles, right? So let's go straight to that game here because, wow, what an amazing finish we've seen from the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Philadelphia Eagles there in Philadelphia. And, man, we've seen an amazing 33-26 victory here for Philadelphia after they were able to score 14 points in the third quarter and then 12 points in the fourth quarter, with one of those coming on a blocked field goal right at the end of the game when it looked like the Rams were going to be able to kick a game-winning field goal. The Eagles are like, nah. And guys, this was the funny part, okay? The Eagles blocked 2 kicks in a row. Like, who does that? Who ends up with 2 blocked field goals in a row? And on the last one, right at the end of the game, the big number 90 Davis is just taking it into the end zone for a touchdown. So what a crazy finish. Way to go, Eagles, man. They definitely stood up in that second half and showed a different kind of offense because they were struggling throughout the first half there. And man, the Rams look like they will be a contender this year in the NFC as well. So what a game here. As we see the stats here, Jalen Hurts went 21 for 32 with 226 yards and 3 touchdown passes in this one. And these numbers did not look good after the first half for quarterback Jalen Hurts. So he really stepped up in the second half for this offense. We also seen Saquon Barkley. He had 18 carries for 46 yards, so not too bad of a day. He also had 4 catches for 9 yards. But A.J. Brown with 6 catches for 109 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith with 8 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. And Dallas Goedert, only 1 catch, but it was for a 33-yard bomb and a touchdown reception as well. This offense shows how dynamic they can be, not only when they want to run the football, but also when they need to pass the football, man. And Jalen Hurts needs to get a lot more credit for being one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man. And he's shown it, especially in that second half. We've seen the LA Rams, Matthew Stafford, he finishes with 19 for 33 for 196 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and unfortunately 1 interception. We also seen Kyren Williams have 20 carries for 94 yards, so a pretty good day on the ground for him, even though he didn't make it in the end zone. And then Blake Corum, not too bad of a day as well, with 8 carries for 53 yards to help out this running game that had over 160 yards rushing here for the Rams. So when you look at these numbers here as far as stat-wise, you would have thought that the Rams would have won this game, but man, hats off to the Philadelphia Eagles pulling out the win. Puka Nacua dominates, and he's dominant in this matchup with 11 catches for 112 yards, but he was really the only person able to get anything going here in this passing game for the LA Rams. So now the Eagles will be taking on the Bucs next week. It's going to be a battle of undefeated teams, and man, I cannot wait to see what happens in this one. But a really, really good win here for the Eagles in week 3. All right, guys, we'll go over to our next matchup here, and we've got the we gotta go back. Whoop. There we go. We've got the Houston Texans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And guys, the Jaguars were able to pull up an upset in this one with the 17-10 victory. As we look at the box score here, C.J. Stroud finished with 204 passing yards, 1 touchdown, but 2 interceptions, and unfortunately some costly turnovers here for the Houston Texans offense really cost them in this one. Chubb only with 9 carries for 38 yards. They only had 87 total yards rushing, but the Jaguars finished with only 86, so the running game wasn't really working for either one of these teams in this one. The defense for Jacksonville really stepped up in this game. We did see Nico Collins finish with 8 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown. Dalton Schultz with 5 catches for 39 yards, but that was about it for the passing offense here for the Houston Texans, who now fall to 0-3 on the season, and nobody saw this coming for the defending AFC South Division champions. And we see Jacksonville now improves to 2-1 with this victory, where Trevor Lawrence had 40 pass attempts, completing 20 of them for 222 passing yards, and he did not throw a touchdown pass in this one, did throw another interception. Trevor Lawrence still needs to try to find his footing here in this season with this passing offense for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but hey, their defense was able to carry them to a win here in this one. Travis Etienne finished with 16 carries for 56 yards in this one and a rushing touchdown, and then Brandon Strange, the tight end, finished with 6 catches for 61 yards in this one, and then Brian Thomas Jr. had 2 catches for 55 yards in this one, but that was pretty much it. Travis Hunter only with 1 catch for 21 yards here on 2 targets, so we'll have to see what happens with this Jacksonville Jaguars team going forward. They're now 2-1, but there's a lot of stuff for them to improve on going forward, and man, I don't know what you can say about the Texans, man. They can't really protect with their offensive line that they have for C.J. Stroud, and their defense is not really playing up to the caliber that we normally see the Houston Texans defense play, at least from what we see in the last couple of seasons. So we'll have to see what happens in Week 4 after Jacksonville gets the win in that matchup. And then, guys, the upset of the weekend, and that's when we've seen the Cleveland Browns get the 13-10 victory over the Green Bay Packers. And, guys, they got the game-winning 55-yard field goal as time expired in this one, and what a big win for the Cleveland Browns, man. And I tell you what, for me, this defense for Cleveland has been dominant. I mean, they gave up only 7 total yards against the Bengals, even though they still lost that game in the second half. But man, now they shut down a Green Bay Packers team that everyone thought was one of the best teams in the league. They got to the quarterback 5 times. We've seen Jordan Love only throw for 183 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 crucial interception at the end of this one that led to the game-winning field goal for the Cleveland Browns. And on their offense, they couldn't get anything going as well. And for Josh Jacobs, he had 16 carries, but only 30 yards in this one. So the defense was really playing well for Cleveland. Matthew Golden had a pretty good day with 4 catches for 52 yards. Josh Jacobs was able to get involved in the passing game with 5 catches for 44 yards. But it was a tough day here for the pass catchers for the Green Bay Packers. And looking at the Cleveland's offensive numbers, Joe Flacco didn't have too good of a day with 21 for 36, passing the ball for 142 passing yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception for Flacco. But hey, they were able to run the ball pretty good, as we see Junkins had 18 carries for 94 yards in this one and a rushing touchdown, a crucial touchdown that Cleveland desperately needed. They were able to score all their 13 points in the fourth quarter to win this game right at the end of regulation with that big kick. A big win here for Cleveland. They're now 1-2 on the season, but now this loss for the Green Bay Packers is surprising, as they head into next week on Week 4 facing Jerry with the Dallas Cowboys down in Jerry World on Sunday Night Football. Micah Parsons returns to Dallas. This is going to be crazy to see. So we'll have to see what Green Bay Packers are able to do to bounce back. And hey, hats off to Cleveland getting their first win of the year. And then next up, guys, we've got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Tennessee Titans. And we would see the Colts improve to 3-0 with a 41-20 victory over the Tennessee Titans. And guys, there's not a whole lot to go over here with this matchup. Thank you guys for the chats going on here. Hope I'm not missing anything important, man. Hell yeah, we've got a lot of Philly fans hanging out, dude. This is cool. I like it, man. What's up, King Chester? Hope you guys are doing well. Oh, yeah, man. Hope you guys are doing well, man. If you guys have any football questions, just go ahead and you can put them in there, and we can try to get to those here in a minute once we get done. And like we said, guys, we've seen the Indianapolis Colts get a 41-20 victory over the Tennessee Titans on the road. Now, unfortunately for Titans fans, they fall to 0-3 on the season, and the offense has just not been able to get anything going for Tennessee, even though the defense before this game had been playing pretty decent for the most part over the first couple of weeks of the season. But man, giving up 41 points to the Colts, this is tough for the Titans, as we see Cam Ward finishes with 219 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 1 interception. But but he was sacked 4 times in this one. The Colts defense really able to clamp down on this offense. Tony Pollard only with 45 rushes on 16 carries. He did get in the end zone for a touchdown. We did see their tight end finishes as their top wide receiver with 5 catches for 66 yards in this one, but it was a tough day completely for this offense. Calvin Ridley wasn't able to get anything going in the passing game either, and we see for the Indianapolis Colts offense that, man, Daniel Jones finishes with 228 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, but he really used his legs in important times to get the ball where he needed to for this offense, and Jonathan Taylor dominated with 17 carries for 102 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. What a performance here with 137 total rushing yards for the Indianapolis Colts as they get to their 3rd victory of the season. Undefeated, 3-0. Nobody predicted this for the Indianapolis Colts, and Indiana Jones is doing his thing there in Indy, and I cannot believe how good this Colts team looks. I love the underdog, and they're going to be underdogs the rest of the season, and I cannot wait to see what this Colts team is able to pull off going forward. And we also see in the receiving game, Michael Pittman Jr. had a great day with 6 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown. Alex Pierce, not too bad of a day with 4 catches for 67 yards. And Tyler Warren continues to be a really good target in this offense with 3 catches for 38 yards as well. So a good victory here for the Colts. They improved to 3-0 on the season. And then, guys, up next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Minnesota Vikings. And this was like the backup bowl. We had 2 backup quarterbacks starting for both of these teams, with Carson Wentz making his first start with the Minnesota Vikings with their quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, out with an ankle injury. And we also see for the Cincinnati Bengals, they went with Jake Browning, who's the backup to Joe Burrow, who unfortunately will be out the next 3 months with his turf toe injury. A tough injury there for the Bengals, but man, this was a tough game for the Bengals. Guys, in this one, the Vikings were able to get the 48-10 victory. Man, what a big win here for Minnesota. Carson Wentz, not too bad of a day. He finished with 173 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns, completing 14 of 20 passes, so he didn't really have to throw the ball a whole lot. The rushing offense was tremendous here for the Vikings as Jordan Mason finished with 16 carries for 116 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. They did put Aaron Jones on IR, so now Jordan Mason will be the starter going forward for Minnesota, and it looks like he's taking over this run game very, very well as they finished with 169 rushing yards in this game. A big win here for Minnesota. Justin Jefferson finishes with 5 catches for 75 yards, and we also see that TJ Hawkinson finished with 5 catches for 49 yards and a touchdown in this game. But guys, we got to talk about the defense here, okay? Isaiah Rodgers has done something not any NFL player has ever done. He returned 2 different defensive he scored 2 different defensive touchdowns, but then also forced another turnover in this game. A tremendous effort and a tremendous defensive performance here for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, guys, there wasn't much to talk about with the Bengals offense. Jake Browning finishes with only 140 passing yards and 2 interceptions with 1 touchdown thrown. They only had 53 total rushing yards in this one. Jamar Chase did finish with 5 catches for 50 yards, but man, it was just an abysmal day for this Bengals offense, and now they lose their first game of the year. Minnesota now improves to 2-1, so what a good win for Minnesota here in week 3. And then up next, guys, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to take on the New England Patriots. And guys, it looked like New England was going to be able to win this game, but turnover after turnover after turnover was just too costly for the New England Patriots in this game. As we look over the stats here, guys, for New England, we see Drake May finishes 28 for 37 for 268 passing yards. You like that. 2 passing touchdowns, but a crucial interception. And man, this offensive line gave up 5 sacks, which unfortunately really just rattled the young quarterback. He also finished as their leading rusher, which is not what you want from your young quarterback. Drake May with 7 carries for 45 yards in this one, even though they did rush for 119 yards total, so not too bad of a day. As far as the offense goes, Hunter Henry with 8 catches for 90 yards and 2 touchdown receptions. He really dominated the passing game here for New England, and when you look at these numbers, you would have thought they won because Aaron Rodgers, he only throws for 139 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Jalen Warren 18 carries for 47 yards, but only 64 total rushing yards in this game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We did see Calvin Austin finish with 3 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf gets a touchdown on 3 catches for 32 yards as well. But you would have thought, looking at these stats, that, man, New England would have won this game. But with 5 turnovers on offense for New England, unfortunately, that just really doomed them in this one. So Pittsburgh gets the win. They improved to 2-1 on the year, and New England now drops to 1-2. All right, guys, going to our next matchup here. We got the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Washington Commanders. And, guys, in this one, Marcus Mariota makes his first start of the season for the Commanders after Daniels was ruled out with a knee injury. And heading into this matchup against the Raiders, we see the Commanders' offense explodes for 41 in this one. The special teams were also really helpful here for the Commanders. As we look at the numbers here, Marcus Mariota finishes 15 for 21 with 207 passing yards and a passing touchdown. A pretty good performance. He also had 6 carries for 40 yards and a rushing touchdown, with Jeremy McNichols now rushing for 4 carries with 78 yards and a touchdown. He had a long 60-yard touchdown run that really got the scoring going for the Commanders. Not much in the passing game here, but we did hear Terry McLaurin is now dealing with a quad injury that could affect his status going forward, not only for week 4, but also the weeks after that. So we'll have to see what happens here. But Luke McCaffrey did finish with 3 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. But we'll have to keep our eye on the injury report going forward for Terry McLaurin. It looks like he may not play this week. Looking at the Las Vegas Raiders and their stats here, Geno Smith, not too bad. 19 for 29 for 289 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns. This offense really started to get things going in this one. We see 93 total rushing yards in this one, but Alshon Jeffrey still trying to get going here with 17 carries for 63 yards. But, guys, the 24 points wasn't enough, with the Commanders scoring 41 in this one and getting the victory over the Raiders. Trey Tucker, a breakout game here for the Raiders with 8 catches for 145 yards and 3 touchdown receptions. A big performance from him. And Jacoby Myers with 3 catches for 63 yards as well. Brock Bowers, not too bad of a day, but he's dealing with a knee injury, so this could affect his performance going forward here for the Raiders, who now dropped to 1-2. But now the Commanders improved to 2-1, and with the way Marcus Mariota played, they may not have to put Daniels back in right away heading into next week's matchup in week 4. So, man, good luck to the Las Vegas Raiders, though, man. That offense is starting to get things figured out, but now, man, 41 points given up by the defense, and with the special teams as well, with those blunders, they got to figure that out. So now, guys, the next one was another big upset in week 3 of the NFL season, and that's the Carolina Panthers getting the 30-0 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Guys, Kirk Cousins plays like the last 9 or 8 minutes of the 4th quarter in this one, so a crazy day here for the Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. We've seen Bryce Young finish with only 121 passing yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. They ran the ball pretty good, with Chuba Hubbard having 17 carries for 73 yards, but it was Rico Dowdle with the rushing touchdown on 10 carries for 30 yards, and Bryce Young using his legs and able to get into the end zone. And, man, the defense really helped out as well for Carolina, as they got a defensive touchdown that really helped put things away here for the Panthers. Honestly, not much to talk about in the passing game, and not much to talk about with the Atlanta Falcons stats. I mean, Bijan Robinson, 13 carries for 72 yards. They had 131 total rushing yards, but they've got to run the ball a little bit more efficiently here as an offense. And then Michael Penix, kind of a very bad day for him. He went 18 for 36 for only 172 passing yards and 2 interceptions. One of those, I believe, was a pick 6. So a tough day there for the Atlanta Falcons as they get upset here and now fall to 1-2. And Carolina gets their first win of the season with a 30-0 blowout at home in this one. All right, guys, let's take a little break here and check out the chat. Tim, you doing the game tomorrow night? Yes, Joe, we will be doing the Thursday night football matchup tomorrow night. I believe it's the Seahawks and the Cardinals. That's cool. Yeah, Jay, I was kind of surprised to see we got Watson signed to the practice squad, but I guess he met the weight requirements that Coach Bowles was looking for him, and Bowles was impressed with his workout last week. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, Dirty Mike, man. Hey, man, great voice, great personality. Appreciate you, dude. That's awesome, dude. All right, I think I got caught up there with the chat. And I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. We officially made it to over 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out on the channel. We're trying to keep it cool, you know. Let's go ahead and let's get this review continued here, guys, for week 3. Only a few more matchups to go over here with you guys. And then also later tonight, guys, I'll be previewing week 4 here for everybody as we get ready, or previewing and predicting week 4 for you guys here on Tim Reynolds Show. So hopefully we'll see you guys for that one, man. And actually, no, honestly, I kind of just like do it myself. Honestly, I don't really write it. I more or less just, you know, kind of do it off the head. I tend to write some things, like if I try to do skits or whatnot. But all right, guys. So yeah, like I said, the Panthers were able to get a big victory, another upset here this week. But let's move on to another close matchup here, as we've seen an AFC West divisional matchup here with the Broncos traveling to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Chargers will improve to 2-0 at home, as we see they were able to get the game-winning field goal late in this matchup. And for the Chargers, they now improved to 3-0 on the season. Another big divisional win here for the Chargers. And man, how about Dicker the kicker? That's right, guys. Cameron Dicker able to get a big win here with 3 kicks on the day. The longest being from 43 yards. And he kicks the game winner to give them the victory. As we see Justin Herbert finish 28 for 47. I mean, 47 pass attempts. That's crazy for a Harbaugh team. But 300 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 1 interception. He was sacked 5 times, and that's going to be an issue here going forward for this Chargers team. If they have a weak point, it is that offensive line. Unfortunately, they were giving up way too many sacks to Justin Herbert in this one, but they were able to overcome it. Omarion Hampton finishes with 19 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. And poor Najee Harris, man, he got injured in this matchup, and he unfortunately tore his Achilles. Looks like he's going to miss the rest of the year. So this is going to affect the rushing game for the Chargers going forward. But man, Quentin Johnston continues to break out this year with 6 catches for 89 yards on 10 targets. This guy's been efficient all year long. And what a resurgence for Keenan Allen. I mean, hey, he played pretty good last year for the Bears, but man, he's playing really good coming back here with Justin Herbert in the Chargers offense with 7 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. Ladd McConkey did his thing with 4 catches for 41 yards on 7 targets, but they're going to try to get him more involved. He's clearly the #1 receiver in this one. And hey, the young rookie running back, Omarion Hampton, with 6 catches for 59 yards as well. A total scrimmage yards, over 100 yards total there for the rookie running back. So a good performance there for this Chargers offense all in all. And the defense didn't play too bad as well. They were able to sack Bo Nix a couple of times here and only gave up 153 total passing yards from the Broncos quarterback. He was able to throw 1 touchdown pass. We did see J.K. Dobbins had 11 carries for 83 yards and a rushing touchdown. You would have thought that they would have ran the ball a little bit more there for Denver, but they just kind of kept the ball in Bo Nix's hands, I think, a little too much here in this one. And the offensive line didn't play that great. They only gave up 2 sacks, but honestly, they kind of played worse than that when you see the review of this game, honestly. And looks like R.J. Harvey's not really getting involved in this rushing game as well, like a lot of people thought he would, especially for fantasy football managers. But Cortland Sutton continues to produce with 6 catches for 818 yards and a touchdown in this one. So a good performance for there. R.J. Harvey did get involved a little bit in the passing game with 3 catches for 14 yards. So maybe that's where he gets involved more as a scat back, a third down back for the Broncos. But now they fall to 1-2 on the season. And this defense is definitely playing winning football, but the offense has got to get things going for Denver heading into this one, man. Honestly, tough go of it for Denver. But how about the Chargers, man? 3-0 on the season. This defense looks legit. This offense looks legit in the run game and the pass game. They've got to pass protect a little bit better, but hey, everyone's going to have troubles pass protecting when you face the Broncos. So a good start there for the Chargers. Hopefully looking out for them too with injuries, especially on the defense there for the Chargers. Looking at that heading forward. Hey, they're 3-0 heading into week 4. So a big matchup. And I'm not worried about the Broncos either. They should be able to pull out of this here. I mean, only 1-2. That's not too bad. So I think I'm not worried about the Broncos, especially with their defense. But guys, coming up next, another matchup that was a little bit of a shocker, a little bit of an eye-opener, if you know what I'm saying, man. It was the Seahawks taking on the New Orleans Saints, and it was a 44-13 pounding. And Saints didn't even score until like the 4th quarter with 7 points here from what it looks like. Only 2 field goals in the first half were, whoa. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we're 38 points in the first half for the Seahawks. I mean, wow. By halftime, everybody was kicking back saying, yep, this one's over. Like, wow. What a performance there, especially for the special teams there for the Seattle Seahawks. A really good performance. We've seen Torrey Horton with a breakout day because he had a big return for a touchdown and then also 3 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown in this game. Jackson Smith and Jigba did his thing with 5 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. Sam Darnold, 14 for 18, 218 yards and 2 touchdown passes. So a very efficient day for him. Not too bad running the ball here. The defense played lights out for the Seattle Seahawks. And hey, Spencer Rattler, he threw for 218 yards, 1 touchdown pass, and 1 interception. But unfortunately, they weren't able to run the ball as good as they would like to with Kamara with 18 carries for 42 yards in this one. Didn't even average 2.5 yards per carry. So unfortunately, a sad day there for the Saints as they fall to 0-3 on the season. Chris Olave, though, did finish with 10 catches for 57 yards. So that had to be good for fantasy managers. Juwan Johnson continues to be a big target in this offense at tight end with 6 catches for 51 yards here for the New Orleans Saints. But man, tough start to the season. And now a lot of people are wondering if Tyler Schott's going to get a chance to get back into this offense. But I'm hearing reports that the Saints are going to stick with Spencer Rattler as of now. But man, with a lot of other teams switching up at that QB position, some by injury more than choice, we may see a QB change in New Orleans coming up in the next couple of weeks. But a big win there for Seattle. They improved to 2-1 on the season. And the way with that defense and special teams are playing, I mean, they look like a legit contender in the NFC. So we'll see what's happening. All right, guys, let's see. We have some more comments, hopefully, to catch up here on. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, thank you, Dirty Mike. Appreciate you, man. Good. I'm excited to see who's hoping my Bills draft him. Oh, cool, dude. I agree with you. Mike is awesome. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, hey, Gay used to be a really good kicker now, man. Now I think he's in his head too much. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Blueberry Man. Appreciate that, man. An Eagles fan from Indianapolis. And, well, yes, I love the tush push. Obvious reasons. There's one thing against the Rams. It was kind of questionable, at least. Let Saquon eat. Yeah, hey, Miller Vinny, I got to agree with you, man. Look, I think the tush push needs to be able to stay, but it's got to be called legit, right? Because there's been way too many times I've seen the same thing where it's a little bit of a false start. And then also the same thing. If the defense is going to do illegal things like we seen last year with the Commanders over and over again, like you got to call that fair as it is. And honestly, I thought it was getting banned during the offseason. I think I heard reports that it was, and then all of a sudden last minute it didn't. So, I mean, honestly, though, guys, it's been talked about in the media way too much, this tush push. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. There was a quote that I heard literally in the last 24 hours that, like, Drew Brees said that this Eagles offense is the most boring offense he's ever seen and sort of said he just hates watching it. And, like, Chris Canty on ESPN sort of, like, schooled him because he went over the numbers of the Eagles having, like, the second most explosive plays over the last few years and getting all these wins. So it's like, so you don't like winning, like, or explosive plays because they run the ball. They're an old school type of football team. And honestly, I got a lot of respect for it, dude. When you can line up and just run the ball down someone's throat, that's how you really control a football game and win any football game. So honestly, I thought that was a ridiculous quote from Drew Brees. And I really do think that the Eagles need to get more credit for them taking advantage of the rules and finding a play that's almost unstoppable, man. I mean, you can't do anything about it. If there was a pass play that was unstoppable, even in the same formation or not or whatever, they would try to use it. So, hey, hats off to people, man. All right, guys, so let's go into our next matchup here. Hope you guys are doing well. Make sure you guys please hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. All right, guys, so only a few more matchups here to go over. Next one, man, another big upset. This one was the Chicago Bears taking on the Dallas Cowboys, and the Bears win this one 31-14. They get their first win of this season, and the defense there for Dallas was terrible. As we see Caleb Williams have his best career day with 298 yards passing for 4 passing touchdowns in this one, throwing 19 for 28. A really good day there. They had 87 total yards on the ground, so not a bad day there. there. We've seen Luther Burden with a big catch on a flea flicker, dude. This was like a basketball play, how long it looked and how like Smith threw the flea flicker so high in the air. It looked like it was going to be an alley-oop. That's why I said it looks like a basketball play. But what a big touchdown there for him, a 65-yard touchdown. He ends up with 3 catches for 101 yards. Roma Doomsday does his thing with 3 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown as well. Man, could this offense finally get things going for Chicago? We'll have to wait and see. And man, but a terrible performance by the Dallas defense. But Dak Prescott, 31 for 40, 251 yards in this one, 1 touchdown, but unfortunately 2 interceptions in this one that proved to be 2 costly turnovers for Dallas. And they did have 121 total rushing yards in this one, but it wasn't enough for them to get the victory. Jake Ferguson, the tight end, did finish with 13 catches for 82 yards in this one. George Pickens with a good day with 5 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. But guys, the big news coming out of this one is CeeDee Lamb has been injured and looks like he could miss the next 2 to 4 weeks due to an ankle injury. And this is actually something that people are saying he could miss a lot more time than that. They said maybe 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how bad the ankle is. Some reports said that it was broken. Other ones were saying that it was sort of sprained. So honestly, I think we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But that's a big loss there for Dallas, and they're heading into a week 4 matchup against Green Bay and Micah Parsons. Ooh, I am not looking forward to that for Dallas fans. But hey, a big win for the Chicago Bears as well. Hey, thanks for the sub there, Mickey Mouse. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. And Mickey, what's going on, man? Hey, the Bucs looking good, baby. We just got to get a little healthy. Just got to get a little healthy, especially this week. We could have Tristan Wirfs and Chris Godwin coming back this week for the Bucs, and we're most certainly going to need them, especially with Mike Evans being out now 2 to 4 weeks. That's going to be a big loss for Tampa Bay. But hey, hopefully Mike comes back sooner rather than later. It was a better report to hear from the injury report than we'd like. What's going on, wifey? Thank you for hanging out in the chat, everybody. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Oh, well, happy early birthday, man. Yes, Mike, Chris Godwin is actually questionable. He is practicing this week in this one. Right now, we'll have to wait and see how practice goes with both of these guys. Week 5 was sort of the return date for Wirth, and we should see maybe Godwin could have a chance to come back this week. But hey, Wirth is practicing ahead of schedule, so Wirth may try to push to play, and hey, we're going to need him because that offensive line was terrible last week with all the penalties, so we'll have to see what happens, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, William. Welcome to the chat. Hey, we try to keep it cool here, man. Come on, dude. You know how we do. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the really good comments there in the chat, guys. As a matter of fact, I'm also thinking about having like a Friday football chat, which is sort of like a staple of mine that I like to do, especially during the season because there's so much going on with college football and NFL football. And I'm sort of thinking about doing that and getting some like questions from you guys to sort of help that stream go, like a Q&A. I was thinking about doing that on Friday where you guys can go ahead and make a little donation for a question and I can answer that on there as we just talk about football or whatever. So hope you guys like that idea. Thank you guys for hanging out on the channel. Don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe. So now Dallas is going to be taking on the Packers on Sunday Night Football, and Micah Parsons coming up next. Chicago with a big win here, getting their first win of the season. All right, guys, so heading back to our last of our matchups here in week 3. The Arizona Cardinals traveled and took on their division foe there in the San Francisco 49ers. And in these division matchups here, man, it's always close. And this one it was like field goal after field goal after field goal when we finally see some scoring open up here in the fourth quarter, believe it or not. Both of these teams were tired and worn down with the way both these teams just tried to run the ball. And we look at the Cardinals stats here. Kyler Murray only 159 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown in this game. We also see James Conner finish with 9 carries for 22 yards. But man, I'm sad to report, guys, James Conner hurt his ankle, possibly broke it, and now will be out the rest of the season for the Arizona Cardinals. Excuse me. And that's a big loss there for the Cardinals rushing game, which means Trey Benson will take over in the backfield. He finished with 10 carries for 42 yards in this one, but he's also a guy that can add into the passing game as well. He did have 3 catches for 9 yards in this game. Marvin Harrison Jr. finishes with 3 catches for 44 yards as well. Trey McBride, not a bad day there for the tight end with 5 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. But one thing I noticed here with looking at this game in the video was that the Arizona Cardinals had plenty of opportunities to have of big explosive plays down the field to really pull away in this game, honestly, but they really just couldn't take advantage of it. Some of them were incomplete passes, bad throws by Kyler Murray, and other ones were just guys not making a good enough play to either break a tackle or try to get the ball enough upfield. And man, it just cost the Cardinals, unfortunately, in this one, because it was just field goal after field goal as we see San Francisco gets the win in this one, 16-15, after we see Mac Jones throw for 27 for 41 for 284 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception as well. A pretty good day for him. He did get beat up a little bit, especially in that fourth quarter. He was limping around a little bit. And Christian McCaffrey, he only finished with 17 carries for 52 yards, but he added a really lot in the passing game with 10 receptions for 88 yards. He is definitely looking like the number 1 overall player right now in fantasy, Christian McCaffrey. Ricky Percival finished with 8 catches for 117 yards in that game as well. Kendrick Bourne now starting to get in the groove here with this San Francisco 49ers offense with 4 catches for 38 yards as well. San Francisco, man, 3-0. 3-0 with all the injuries they have. George Kittle's been out. Their starting quarterback, Brock Purdy's been out. This defense has been beat up. And guys, the news gets worse. The news gets worse for San Francisco, for 49ers fans, as Joey Bosa tore his ACL and now will be out the rest of the 2025 NFL season. This is a big blow, a big loss for the San Francisco 49ers going forward. That defense is going to have to try to find a way to now simulate and get more pressure to the quarterback without one of their premier pass rushers and defenders in the NFL, with Nick Bosa out with a tore ACL the rest of the year. Hey, prayers to Nick Bosa, man. Hope he gets better. Hope he gets back to the field sooner rather than later. And guys, looking at the offense here for Arizona, like I said, not much doing. They did have 106 total rushing yards, but only 159 passing yards. Kyler Murray's got to start getting a little bit more accurate, especially with his downfield throws, and they've got to take advantage of explosive plays here for the Cardinals. But hey, they can be a pretty good team at 2-1. Now they got a quick turnaround heading on Thursday Night Football, going up against the Seahawks, another tough division matchup for them. And hey, if they lose that one, we clearly can see that all 3 of these teams are ahead of the Cardinals, because the Seahawks, the Rams, and now the 49ers are all going to have better records than them. And so the Cardinals, this is probably a must win for them on Thursday Night Football, believe it or not, even here in week 4. So we'll see here, guys, coming up next. One of our last matchups, this one was on Sunday Night Football, and in prime time, we got to see Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs take on Russell Wilson and the New York Giants. And guys, in this one, this is probably one of the worst games I've ever seen Russell Wilson play as a quarterback. But Patrick Mahomes made a lot of just like that. Like head-scratching throws, guys. Like a couple of laterals that were like he threw the ball backwards, and it was terrible. Like, this offense took a while to get going for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but they were able to pull out the victory here, 22-9 in this one. But it was a sloppy performance there by the Giants offense. So bad that, guys, breaking news we've seen this week in the NFL, rookie quarterback Jackson Dart will now be the starter for the New York Giants going forward, with Russell Wilson now as the backup. I'm really wondering if maybe someone might be in the market to get Russell Wilson on their team, maybe like the Cincinnati Bengals. You never know, especially with the way QB injuries are already shaping out here early in the season. But now Russell Wilson's the backup, and rookie Jackson Dart will now be the starter going forward for the New York Giants. So with that being said, looking at the stats here, Patrick Mahomes, still a pretty good day. 224 passing yards, only 1 passing touchdown. He did only have 5 carries for 2 yards in this one, so he wasn't running around trying to get rushing yards as much. They did finish with 105 yards rushing in this one, with both Pacheco and Hunt splitting carries, with Kareem Hunt getting the rushing touchdown. Taquan Thornton had a good day, 5 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown, and this could have been even of a better day for him if he would have caught a couple other passes that he dropped. Juju Smith-Schuster had some clutch catches with 4 catches for 55 yards in this one. And looking at the stats here for the Giants, I mean, not much to go over here. 2 interceptions from Russell Wilson, 160 passing yards, but Cam Skattebo had 10 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown, with 6 catches for 61 yards as well. He was pretty much their whole offense. We did see Darius Slayton have 4 catches for 30 yards as well, but it was a tough day here for the Giants offense, even though they had 130 yards rushing, so they were running the ball pretty well, but those turnovers just proved to be way too costly for the Giants in this game. The Chiefs get their first win of the season, but now they go to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Lions coming up next, and we're about to talk about the Ravens coming up next, and whoo, man, what a game that was on Monday night against the Lions. So we got the Chiefs taking on the Ravens next week, and guys, for this one too, for the Giants, they're now 0-3, and now Jackson Dart's going to make his first career NFL start against the Chargers. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go, but best of luck, man. I know a lot of Giants fans are saying, okay, the season starts over now. This is now where the season counts, and these wins or losses are going to count, I guess. But hey, it's going to be a tough game against them Chargers. And then, guys, last but not least, we got the Detroit Lions traveling to take on the Baltimore Ravens, and it was a blackout there for the Ravens. That crowd can be so rowdy, but guys, in this one, we seen early on, it looked like the Ravens were going to impose their will early on in this game, guys. I called this game live on my channel. I did play-by-play, and I gotta tell you, it looked like that defensive line for the Ravens was gonna make a statement because they were pushing back that offensive line for Detroit in the first quarter. I'm talking 3, sometimes 4 yards back in that backfield, and Detroit wasn't really able to get anything going. But man, after that, when we seen the second quarter and that second half start, we seen this Lions football team flip the script with that offensive line helping this Lions offense to run the ball down the throat of the Baltimore Ravens. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that correct. I will pretty much put it to you like this here on Tim Reynolds Show. The Lions out Baltimore. They out-Ravened the Ravens. I'm telling you guys, that's exactly what happened with 224 yards rushing on the Ravens. When is the last time you heard that, guys? With David Montgomery finishing with 12 carries for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns in this one, including one very late to seal the deal in this one, guys, because it was a 38-30 victory for Detroit, but it was not even that close, ladies and gentlemen, with Baltimore getting a touchdown late in this one when pretty much the game was already over. They tried to go for an onside kick, and it was not to be for the Ravens. As we see here, looking at the rest of the stats for the Lions, Jared Goff finished with 20 for 28, throwing the ball for 202 yards, 1 passing touchdown. A very efficient day for Jared Goff as well. And man, Campbell showing the balls off once again for him on 4th down late in this game to go for a deep throw to Amon-Ra St. Brown from Jared Goff to pretty much seal it here for this one before David Montgomery got the big touchdown run to pretty much put this one away. It was crazy, man. What a game here for Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown finishes with 7 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown in this one. So a pretty damn good game there for Detroit. And we see for Baltimore, Derrick Henry finishes with 288 passing yards and 3 touchdown passes, but rushing the ball for only 35 yards on 7 carries. This Detroit Lions defensive line was able to contain Lamar Jackson. Guys, listen to this stat. And I don't even know if I've heard this sort of stat going up against a Ravens team. We already talked about the 224 rushing yards against the defense, but against this offense for Baltimore, 7 sacks. This Detroit Lions defense got to the quarterback 7 times. And guys, a unique stat here that was snapped here today. The Baltimore Ravens had a 52 or may have been 57 game streak of a sack, of at least recording 1 sack in a game. And they did not record 1 sack on Jared Goff in this one. And the Lions defense got 7. What a crazy, crazy stat there in this one. We did see Derrick Henry finish with 12 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown, but a costly fumble once again. This is now 3 fumbles in 3 games for Derrick Henry. I got to tell you, I'm not really worried about this. I thought it's just a coincidence. Sometimes these things happen. What an effort there for the defense to get that fumble there for Detroit and Hutchinson. They're like pretty much all pro defensive linemen there. We did see Mark Andrews have a great day with 6 catches for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rashad Bateman, a good day as well with 5 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. But man, Zay Flowers wasn't really able to get involved in the offense. They weren't able to get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins, who honestly, I thought they would have used a little bit more in this offense, and they're not. Like, I don't get to really see DeAndre Hopkins on the field that much. He only had 2 targets in this whole game, 1 catch for 13 yards, only 2 catches for 13 yards for Zay Flowers. Like, if they're going to win games, Baltimore, man, they got to be able to get those other guys involved as well in this offense. And man, it looked like Lamar Jackson was frustrated all night long with the play calling. And honestly, this defense, they're missing a couple of key pieces with a couple of guys out with injuries, and they could be out for a couple of weeks, honestly, going forward. So this defense is going to have to sort of piece things together and try to get things going here if they're going to be able to get some games won, because man, coming next up, dude, Baltimore's got the Kansas City Chiefs, so it's right back to it for Baltimore after a tough loss here. And hey, hats off to Detroit, man, a big signature win here, now proving to 2-1 on the season. They'll go to take on the Cleveland Browns next week. Maybe that matchup will be a little more interesting with how we've seen the Cleveland Browns defense play with their upset win over the Green Bay Packers, and I'm sure Detroit Lions fans are happy about that. But now Detroit shouldn't sleep on Cleveland heading into that game. But man, what a Monday Night Football statement there for Detroit. Their defense really stepped up in this one, and the offense just looked unstoppable running the ball. So a really, really good win there for Detroit. And this has been your NFL Week 3 review for the 2025 NFL season right here on one of the most electrifying sports entertainment channels on YouTube today. This is Tim Reynolds Show. Now let's go. All right, guys, let's check the comments here real quick. Check the chat before we get going. Hope you guys are doing good, man. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Can't rush the injury, though. It's a double-edged sword. You are totally right there, Mickey 805. I really do think you got to just make sure these guys come back when they can. You don't want to rush them back too soon for any of these NFL teams, man. I don't watch football, but the Patriots win the Super Bowl, says a user. Hey, good luck to the Patriots, man. That would be crazy. Talk about a lot of people winning a lot of money if they bet on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. What do you think about the division year, says Blake Sexton? Man, honestly, dude, the division I thought was going to be a little more competitive. Like, after what I seen last week from Atlanta, like, what's going on in Atlanta? Like, dude, this offense could be at least the top 15 offense. I'm sure of that. I thought this defense, maybe. But, man, the Saints and the Panthers, I mean, at this point, they're not really surprising me, you know? Like, the Saints are probably going to be one of those teams getting one of the top 3 picks in this year's draft. Maybe the Carolina's Panthers are starting to turn things around after their big win against Atlanta this week. But, man, I think the Bucs are definitely just on another level from these other guys in the division right now. And I think that's being said because, yeah, even though the wins that we've gotten over the last 3 weeks, I understand, you know, those teams maybe don't have the greatest records. But honestly, for me, we've been able to overcome so many injuries that we've had to signature players here to start out the season that I really do think if we can overcome these injuries and win games, then we're going to be in just about every game that we play. And, you know, your goal is not to win every game going into the season. Your goal is to win enough games, win the division, get into the dance, and see what you're able to do in the playoffs. And that's what I'm looking forward to, honestly, guys. I really do think this Bucs this Bucs team is a legit playoff team going forward, and they're going to be someone to be reckoned with from here to the end of the season. And as long as injuries aren't like what's going to take them out, I really do think they're going to be able to be in every single game that they're going to face this year. And their schedule to end the year, guys, I don't know if anyone's really seen this, but like the last 5 or 6 games for Tampa Bay, it's a really good schedule for the Bucs, man, especially with how this division's looking. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm also really looking forward to this week's matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. This is probably going to be one of the top matchups of the week. I already heard Tom Brady's supposed to be on the call to come call the game, which is so cool. I can't believe it, man. Like, there's been just so many people that don't understand how underrated this Buccaneers team still is. We've overcome so many injuries over the last 3 years and still been able to be a playoff team, a division winner. And honestly, I think that says more than anything about how good this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is definitely going to be this year. And honestly, if you're a team that's able to start 3-0, it's like you got a really good run for the rest of the season to be able to get you into the playoffs. So I really do like what I've seen for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading into this game, man, guys. So thank you guys for some of your questions, man. Oh, what's going on? We got Love Prods 10. What's going on, man? Looks like we got a Packers fan. Do you think the Packers will make the Super Bowl? Look, if you asked me this question last week, I think I'd have to lean towards yes, even, you know, definitely maybe. But honestly, right now, like, can we really say that? I mean, Cleveland's defense is really legit. We're starting to see that. So I guess everybody's probably going to struggle like this with this defense. But it's like, I don't know if I trust Jordan Love yet in the clutch situations that we need to trust him in, because we need to see him do it. We've seen him do it maybe like what, one playoff game, maybe. That's probably about it. So that's not saying too much yet. You got to really start to see him develop a little bit more. And I'm just a little concerned about the offensive weapons here in this offense, right? When they really got to have it, when they really need a first down, they really need a catch, they really need a big play downfield. I mean, who do they go to? Right now, it's Tucker Kraft. I mean, this first round wide receiver hasn't really broke out yet to be one of the top wide receivers here in this offense. I mean, right now, Romeo Doubs is looking like the top guy in this offense for Green Bay. Tucker Kraft being the guy that's the number one target right now at tight end, but he's also dealing with an injury right now that he got during practice last week, so he may be a little off his game for the next few weeks. So just something to keep an eye out with, because right now, this Packers team, to me, they're an old school football team. They're going to rely on their defense to try to get to the passer, force turnovers, and run the ball as efficiently as they can, especially with the injuries right now that the Packers are dealing with on offense. This is how they're going to be able to compete and get themselves into the playoffs. Now, they've still got to deal with the Detroit Lions. I know that they won handily in week one, but right now, from what we've seen from Detroit, this offense looks really capable, and the defense is playing a lot better than people want to give them credit for. So really, this is going to really be, it's going to be an interesting division, because, man, the Vikings defense is playing so good right now. And when you're looking at probably the two best defenses in the league right now, you probably got to go with Cleveland in the AFC, and you got to go with the Vikings, I believe, in the NFC right now through the first 3 weeks. So really, that NFC North division is looking very competitive, and I'm going to really look forward to see how that division ends up folding out. If you guys want to know my predictions for the NFC North division, I did do a preview on that one. Make sure you guys go check it out on the channel, along with all the other previews and predictions I did for every single division in the NFL. Working hard here on Tim Reynolds Show to try to bring you guys more content. Appreciate you guys hanging out here, trying to hang out here for the NFL Week 3 review. Here on Tim Reynolds Show. That's right. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out on the channel. Thank you guys. Please make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. We're going to make sure to see you guys again really soon later tonight as we preview all the week 4 matchups, and I give you guys my predictions for each game in week 4 of the 2025 NFL season right here on one of the most electrifying sports entertainment channels on YouTube today. This is Tim Reynolds Show. Now let's go. Peace out, everybody. We'll sure to see you guys soon. Hey, don't forget, guys, we got Thursday Night Football coming up where the Seattle Seahawks are taking on the Arizona Cardinals. We'll be doing live play-by-play right here on Tim Reynolds Show for that game. And hey, we'll have to look at the college football slate to see maybe what games we could slip in this upcoming weekend for the college football slate. And don't forget, on Sunday, we will be live for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles right here for some of the best play-by-play you have ever heard, not only on YouTube, but on social media. That's right, guys. I cannot wait to see my 3-0 Bucks take on the 3-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, I'm also hearing reports the Eagles are coming down a day early to try to get acclimated to the heat, and it's been hot. Guys, that heat on Raymond James Stadium last week against the Jets, guys, it was like 120 to 140 degrees on the field. Like, whoo, talk about being hot, dude. It was over 100. That is crazy, dude. That is crazy, dude, honestly. What's up, Tyler? Hope you're doing well. So yeah, looking forward to a lot of good matchups coming up next week as well. Honestly, off the top of my head, I'd like to see a couple of the other ones that we may be really looking forward to. You got the Bucks and the Eagles. Jags 49ers could be a pretty interesting matchup as well. Vikings and Steelers, that one's in Dublin, so that one could be really good as well. How are the Falcons going to respond against the Commanders? Let's see here too. I mean, maybe Jackson Dart against the Chargers. That might be a little interesting with him getting his first start. The Colts at the Rams. That's going to be a pretty interesting one. And then, of course, the most intriguing game of the weekend probably is going to be the Ravens versus the Chiefs, because those teams are both 1 and 2. And then, man, just a couple of kind of Monday Night Football games next week as well. But hey, not too bad, guys. I really appreciate all you guys hanging out here on the channel. We'll make sure to see you guys here coming up soon with a lot more of not only my NFL news, but my NFL content I'm going to make for you guys right here on Tim Reynolds Show. And don't forget to check out more of my live play-by-plays coming up for NFL games this season, including every Monday Night Football game, every Thursday Night Football game, and every primetime game that we can do like Sunday Night Football as well. We do have some of those other ones coming up later in the year that we'll try to do for you guys if capable. Now, with the Monday night coming up here, guys, I have to decide in between, like, do I do the Jets versus the Dolphins, or do I do the Bengals versus the Broncos? I'm thinking about taking a poll, but then again, I'm probably better off going with the Bengals and Broncos because that one probably is going to be a little bit more interesting than the other game. So we'll have to see what we decide to do. But hey, we'll see you guys next time we go live here on Tim Reynolds Show. Peace out, everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out on the channel. Don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe.